As far as the versatility you talked about, maybe going linebacker, edge, 4-3-3-4. Where do you see yourself fitting in best?
For me personally, I would say 4-3. That's just the base I played all my 5 years at Wake. But that's no problem with me fitting into a 3-4 and learning new scheme.
Best of luck. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
Thanks. Hey, Boogie. Mike Solarte, Spectrum News 1. No combine. How much pressure was there on you today to show out? This was it. This was really your chance to put your stuff out there for coaches to see with their own eyes.
For me, I didn't really think it was on pressure. It was just about my training. Today was like just another day. Those reps we just did over and over again for a whole 3 or 4 months. So today was just like another day of training for me personally.
Just to follow up on that, I mean, a training day is one thing, but when you have all those eyes, does it start to feel real? I mean, the draft is just around the corner. Does it start to hit home that this is coming up real soon?
Yeah, I would say towards the end of it, I'm like looking around, you see all the scouts, you're like, dang, this is really about to happen. But like I said before, to me, it was just another day for, just the repetition that we did over and over again.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Matthews, go ahead.
Thank you. Boogie, here's Matheus Ornelas from Time Out here in Brazil. Congratulations for going for the NFL draft. A lot of scouts say about what you can do on the defensive line. And how do you think that you're ready for this next level? How do you prepare for be a guy that maybe can do all the gaps or do a bunch of things on the D line?
For me personally, it's just not just working on one position, but also, working on other positions as well, whether that's inside, outside, doing my drops, just repetition, just doing everything and not, and just enclosing myself in one position, but just being able to work across the whole board.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Connor.
What's it like to go through this with a guy like Jamie that you came in here with? And I can't imagine you've seen much of him in the last year or so. So what was it like to be out there with him on the field? And he actually got to go through some drills with you, it looked like, too.
Yeah, it was a great, a great time for us to catch up again together. We was not the same ball, but today for us to be out there competing and definitely going to the pros, it was a big thing for me. Just seeing the smiles on Jamie and Sage's face of all of us doing well. There's no feeling like that. Guys you coming in with, and seeing all of us succeeding. That's a great feeling.
Does it register with you that this is a building that you've been going through drills like this for 5 years, and you've really kind of built yourself into a first round pick prospect? Can you remember back to being a freshman here and being 18 years old and developing?
I would definitely say, yeah, my freshman. Sometimes I look back my freshman year, and I'm just like, what if I would have used that year to actually learn football rather than just just partying. But it's kind of everything works its way out. I feel like I'm glad that happened. I probably wouldn't be the man I am today if I didn't do what I did before. But it all came for the better at the end.
All right, go ahead, Luke.
Hey, Boogie, appreciate the time. A quick question for you here. Looking back now to your pro day, now that you're off the field, what were you most proud of, or what do you think you showed off the most? And what do you think maybe was lacking a little bit now that you've had maybe a quick moment to think about your performance earlier today?
Today, just short on my 40, guy 275 moving like that. You don't see that too much often. That's something I really worked on out there and I was working out. And today, some things I could work on was definitely my bench press, but that's just something that comes along with it. But today I was really happy how my 40 went.
All right, Dan, go ahead.
Hey, Boogie, Dan from Chargers Brawl again. I was actually just going back and looking at the notes that I took from when I was kind of watching your film. I want to kind of get your take on it. So I was going back and looking, and I obviously saw the tackle for loss streak you had for 23 games. I got tackle for loss machine, excellent pursuit tackler, and a magnet for the football. Where do you get the knack for tackles for loss, and how do you see yourself kind of improving on that the next level?
For me, I just growing up, I always find myself in the backfield, especially on defense. They coming in weight, just being able to scheme we had, it was built around us, making TFLs, getting in the backfield a lot. So for me, if you get back there, you got to make the play. So that's just how I play. If I don't make it, I know one of my players will. Just like with them, if they don't make it, they know I'll be there immediately.
Got it. And what do you think about my profile so far? Anything I got wrong?
Oh, no,
Cool. Thanks so much.
Go ahead, Les.
Hey, Boogie, thanks for your time. I appreciate it. I know that the season did not end the way you wanted it to in 2020 with missing the last couple games, but I'm curious, did you get enough out of playing the season that you look back and consider it a good decision at this point? What did you get out of playing in 2020 for Wake Forest?
I would definitely say, some things, I wish I didn't catch COVID, could have had those 3 games under my belt. But, it kind of, everything works its way out. The 5 games that I played, I feel like I did what I had to do. Definitely showcased a lot of stuff that I didn't do the previous year. So, I feel like it was a great decision for me coming back.
All right, Mark. Mark, you're muted.
Okay, I'm back. Thank you very much. So have you heard from the Buffalo at all? Have you talked to anybody from Buffalo? And what did you hear? What time did you hear from scouts on what you ran in the 40?
Yeah, I talked to Buffalo a little bit this previous week. I talked to the D-line coach, was able to sit there, get to know me a little bit, go through a little bit of my film. Tyler Hurt today was, low 4.6s and high 4.5. That's what the times I was hearing today.
And do you feel more comfortable rushing right side, left side, or equal?
To me, it don't really matter. Just that way, I play strong side, so they flip flop the whole game.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All right, Eddie.
Hey, Boogie, you said you ran your 40 in what, the low 4.6s?
Yeah, low 4.6 and high 4.5.
Nice. How important was that for you to put that down on paper for the scouts to see?
It was very important to me, just of me being my size and moving like that, doesn't come around too often. And for me to be able to go out there and do it today, it was a blessing.
Has it kind of set in that, this is one step closer to you reaching your dream?
Yeah, definitely one step closer.
All right, anything else for Boogie?
Boogie, still there?
Yes. Yes.
Where do you see yourself playing at the next level? Are you more of a edge rusher or a down lineman in a 4-3 scheme, or do you have the versatility to play everywhere?
I feel like I have the versatility to play everywhere, but I would love to, just stay in the same system I'm in right now. So basically a 4-3, but that's no problem with me learning something new, definitely.
Well, a lot of events,
Akeem.
How you doing, Boogie? Akeem Richards, built in Buffalo. Is there anybody in the NFL do you model your game after?
Yeah, definitely Jason Pierre-Paul and DeMarcus Lawrence. I've been watching those 2 players for the last 2 years.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, Coach, are you ready?
I am ready to go.
All right, we'll start with an opening statement from Coach Claussen, and then we'll open it up for questions using the raise hand tool.
All right, well, welcome and thanks for everybody who, first of all, is here today live, and then all of those who are here virtually. It was good to see everybody, and it was another good day for our program to have upwards of 20, 30 NFL teams represented. I think we had 35 scouts, personnel people, coaches, and congratulations to Boogie, Sage, Jamie, and Jack. Certainly participate in a pro day is a dream that everybody has. And I think all these guys handled themselves well. And we certainly expect that of them, but it's also proud to see them do so well and perform in front of so many scouts. Practice is going well. We have our 8th practice tomorrow, so we're about the halfway point. It's very productive. And again, all this additional depth is certainly helping us get a lot of reps and get a lot of younger players experience. And with that, I'll take questions.
All right, we'll start with Connor.
Dave, when you think about Jamie, Sage, and Boogie going through pro day, I don't mean to exclude Jack, but when you think of the first 3 guys, are there 3 better examples of how your program is a developmental program than those 3 guys and the way they developed once they got on campus?
Yeah, and those three guys are great, but I think, whether it's Phil Haynes or Justin Herron or Jesse Bates or Scotty Washington, I think we've had a number of those examples. I think we've had like 24 players sign NFL contracts in the last 3 years. And very few of them came here ready-made. And again, those are three great examples, and hopefully Boogie becomes a first-round pick. That would be certainly a great achievement for him and our program. But either way, that we've put these guys in a position to go chase their dreams. And that's one of our goals. And that's one of the things we share in recruiting.
Go ahead, Les.
Coach Claussen, in what ways do you think Boogie helped himself through playing in the 2020 season?
Well, everybody will tell you that you want guys that love football. And the story that I've shared countless times, Les, is, the one time Boogie was walking to my office and, Coach Hemphill was all nervous that he was going to tell me he was going to opt out. And Boogie just shook his head and said, "No, man, football players play football. And I'm a football player." And I think that exhibits Boogie's love for the game, the commitment that he made to his teammates, and the fact that he wanted to finish this thing. He came back to play a fifth year. Part of it was to raise his draft stock, but part of it was that he wanted to finish with his really good friends and his teammates, whether it be Trey Red, Suleiman, Jasir. He became really close with those guys. And, again, he's developed a lot. He performed well today. I think he ran well, to move as he does at 274, 275 pounds. I mean, he runs as well as some receivers. So if he was in our wide receiver room right now, he'd be in the top half speed wise. So, I'm watching him run like that. I'm saying, geez, we misused this guy. We should have thrown him the ball as a tight end at some point. So maybe we'll appeal the NCAA and get a 6th year for him and get him to come back.
Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Coach. Dan Wolkenstein from Chargers Brawl Podcast. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. We were just talking to Boogie, and I hear our new coach Staley talk about having football playing Jesse's all the time. So hearing you talk about Boogie in that way, I think is music to our ears. I was asking Boogie earlier about just how he has that knack for tackles for loss, and you see it happen all the time. He's probably one of the best at it in college. Is that a scheme thing? How do you think he got so good at that? Where do you think that ability comes from?
Well, he's athletic. He understands balance. He was a decent high school basketball player, and I just think that whole way of feeling a tackle and being athletic enough to feel the leverage and the weight distribution and then rip off. And then once he gets in space, he's athletic enough to get a guy on the ground.
Go ahead, Brooke.
Hey, Dave. I wanted to ask you about Jamie Newman. He's a little bit of a wild card in the draft this year just because he didn't play last season. What do you tell coaches when they ask, or scouts when they ask you about him, and what about his skill set can translate well to the NFL?
Well, Jamie did a great job his 4 years here. He came in really as a developmental project for us, and he got better every year. And then, the second half of 2018 played really well and was having a great year in 2019. So we appreciate everything Jamie did for our program. He spent 4 years at Wake Forest, had a degree, and helped us win a lot of football games. The skill set, that's what they evaluate the film for, and that's why they have the live workouts. I mean, he's a big kid that can throw the ball and he can run. He's strong. He can make every throw. And I think people just got to evaluate him and feel if he fits into their scheme or not.
Go ahead, Andre.
Good afternoon, Andre Robinson, Challenger Community News. So it's always good to have athletes that go into the NFL draft or get ready for the NFL draft. I know this season is already over, but my question to you is, what do you look for in prospects as far as to make Wake Forest successful for the next season so that you will have even more NFL prospects for this season upcoming?
Well, we've had a model here of, we try to recruit guys that love football, that are capable and want to do the work at Wake Forest academically and are high character guys. And I think those three factors, once we recruit them, it's critical we retain them and then we develop them. And we've had a pretty good run with that. Like I said, I think we've had 24 players sign NFL contracts the last 3 or 4 years. My number, I don't know if it's exact. I think it's within 1 of 2 of that. The only reason we had 4 guys working out today is we have 9 players who would have been working out today for a pro day that would have a shot that all chose that came back here for a 5th, 6th, or even a 7th year. So I think if you look at next year's pro day, I'm sure we'll have double-digit athletes working out for NFL teams, and all those guys will have a shot. So every year that number's grown. Again, this year because of COVID, and we had so few guys coming out, is why the numbers are smaller.
Go ahead, Les.
Hey, Dave, while you talked about having depth, just a spring football question. You talked about having depth and being able to go with 3 teams, three strings basically across the field. In the last week, you've lost what looks like a couple of receivers. How do you plan on maybe attacking that? Are you maybe going to look in the portal for another one? Maybe bring in another one, the 21 class? Any thoughts on that?
You know what, Les, we've really had some of our other receivers step up. 3 of the guys that have had great camps for us so far, Donald Stewart is really playing well. Torian Perry is playing better than he's ever played. And Jamal Banks has really come on. And then Keyshawn Williams. So, I'm hopeful that we can find a way to maybe keep Casey Washington here. In the case of Nolan Gruel, he just, he wanted to find a place that he felt he'd be able to play more. And I think as we recruit well and we develop players, that's going to happen. Right now we feel really good at receiver. We've got Donovan and Ja'Cory coming back. Keyshawn's playing well. And then we have those guys on the outside that are developing. And again, we're going to do everything we can to try to keep Casey here. That might take a little bit of time, but we're not, I'm hoping he's not completely gone. And again, Nolan just told us that he wanted to find a place that he'd have the opportunity to play more. So that's part of running a competitive program. When you recruit well, I do feel like we have good depth at receiver. We have 3 freshmen coming in, and I think we'll be fine there. And again, the big if is if we can avoid the injury bug.
All right, we'll wrap up with Eddie Hughes.
Hey, Coach, you touched on Boogie's 40 time. How impressed were you by that 40 time, and what did you say to him after his pro day today?
Good job, Boogie. So he ran really well. And Eddie, it's not like I'm surprised. I mean, we had him 5 years in our program. I thought he'd run a great 40 time. We've worked with him 5 years. We've been timing him the 40 for 5 years. So people are surprised. We're not. I thought he'd run a great time, and he did. And again, we're really proud of him. Just the decision to come back for a 5th year, dealing with COVID, not opting out, choosing to play with his teammates, the leader, the captain that he became for us. Boogie was always a good teammate. This year he came out of his shell and became a really good leader for us. And I'm proud of him. And, the great thing is of our workout today, 3 of those guys have Wake Forest undergraduate degrees. And Jack Crane will end up having, at the end of the semester, a Wake Forest graduate degree. So again, it's always been more than just football here. And even with Boogie being a 1st round pick, that's a Wake Forest graduate who represented his team well and grew in so many other areas other than football. And I can't wait to watch his success.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you.
All right, Sage, are you ready? Ready?
Yep, give me 1 second. Make sure my hair is on. All right. Oh, I see Les on there. How you doing, Les?
All right, we'll go ahead and start with Derek.
You decided to wear your shirt for this?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Derek.
How you doing, Sage?
Good. How are you?
Good. How are you? Good. Just quick question. I'm a dad with young sons that play ball themselves, and I hear them talking about their dreams and things like that. So just speak on, what the feeling is like, just having you and your brother on the same ride at the same time.
It's great. It's great. It's just something we dreamed of, growing up. We talked about growing up, so we've always had this goal in mind. Just very, very grateful to be able to do it with my brother here at the time. The best thing I could tell any kid, growing up, trying to chase their dreams. You get in what you put out. You get out what you put in. So if you invest in time and put the work and put all the effort into it, then you have a good chance of being successful. So that would be the biggest thing I tell them.
All right, Matthews.
Thank you. Sid, Matheus Ornelas from Time Out here in Brazil. Congratulations for going for the NFL draft.
Thank you.
You have the chance of going for the Senior Bowl and having your pro day. How do you think that these events can help you to talk to the NFL teams, understand what they want from you? Because we don't have the combine, and specifically, we have a class with so many good receivers. How do you think that these events can help you?
Just coming out here, I didn't play a season, just coming out here and showing how I move, show a guy that, come in, catch the ball, do whatever you need to do. I feel like I'm a versatile player, be able to play wherever you need me to be. So I feel like, just coming out here, showing them, how I catch, how I move, and, just go forward from there.
Go ahead, Josh.
Hey, Sage, how are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just, besides your brother, who else have you kind of leaned on throughout this process? Anyone you might have, asked for tips, former players, current players in the NFL, for the pro day and the pre-draft process? And in the pre-draft process, have you spoken with the Buccaneers at all?
Yes, I have spoken with the Buccaneers. Besides my brother, just talking to my trainers, talking to former guys, that went to the draft, went through this process, like you're saying, Scotty, all those guys, talking to them, asking for advice. The most thing they just tell you, be yourself, and that's all you can do. You can't try to be somebody else. You just go out there and be you, and the rest will take care of itself. So, appreciative, be able to have guys ahead of me that's been before this. I feel like it's a testament to Wake Forest, Coach Claussen, the culture we have here, to be able to do that. So, very grateful for that.
Now, have you spoken to Coach Garver at all, or has it more been like scouts and stuff like that?
It's been more scouts.
Okay, and your brother, actually, I spoke with him. He's actually spoken to the Bucs quite a few times. What would it mean to be able to get drafted to the same team with your brother, whether it's the Bucs or any other team?
I feel like that'd be great. Be able to be on the same team with him again. So I would really, that'd be really nice. So we'll see what happens.
Thank you. Best of luck on your journey.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Connor.
Oh, Connor's on here. What's going on, Connor?
Hey, Sage. I'm actually, about 25 yards away from you.
Oh.
Yeah. How do you think you did today? Did you hit the marks that you wanted, or did you do better than expected, worse than expected? Like, what was your performance today?
I feel like I had a solid day. I just feel like, just be able to come out here and compete. Just what I came out here to do. So I came out here and competed. Did what I did, and there's nothing even look forward and reflect on it. So I just gotta keep going forward, and I feel like I came out here, showed how I moved, be able to show the scouts that. So excited, for the next part of the process, and going from there.
What was the familiar feeling? But I'm sure it's been a little while to catch passes from Jamie in McCreary Fieldhouse.
Yeah, it felt like old times, being here, being able to throw with Jamie, in the indoor. I know it was great, have all my teammates around me. I had a couple guys come out today. So just getting to see everybody, be back on Wake Forest campus, it's all been great.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Sage, Stephen Hagman from the LAFB Network. I cover the Rams and the Chargers. I'm curious if you have had the chance to meet with either of those teams since the Senior Bowl.
I've talked to both of those teams, scouts on both of those teams.
Okay, sounds good. And then my other question here, obviously you had the opt-out, and so what were kind of some things that you were honing in during that season away from football that you think helped you grow as a football player and potentially as an NFL player in the next year or so?
Just have an opportunity, to work on my craft, be able to become a better receiver in all areas, whether it's route running, releases, just becoming more of a student in the game, be able to do that. So I feel like I was able to take advantage of that.
Awesome, man. Thanks. Best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Les.
Hey, Sage, hope you're doing well, man, and congrats on the good day today. What has been the key for you the last 5 or 6 months in staying fresh, staying ready for this moment? How have you been training? What has helped you get prepared?
Just being able, put day in and day out, just getting prepared with my trainers, just trying to get bigger, faster, and stronger as I go along. Just trying, make those daily deposits to become a better football player, and I feel like I was able to do that.
Did you get your times? It seemed like you were moving pretty good.
I have not received my official time yet, no.
Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, Dan Wilkinson from Chargers Brawl Podcast. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, Sage, couple questions. So I was watching film on you, and one of the 2 things that I found, one was you have incredible hands, and I think a lot of receivers could learn a thing or 2 from you about using your hand versus your body. Second, it looks like you have a really good knack for kind of bodying out defenders. You have a really good kind of basketball mentality there. Talk about just your overall kind of expertise around using your hands, where you got that from, and where you got kind of the box out material from too.
Yeah, I feel like that's just probably like the box out on that. Probably timing, just being able to go up and get rebounds growing up. I've been able to play. I played all types of sports growing up, so I feel like being able to play a lot of sports, kind of contributes to that. And that the joke in our family is like where I get my hands from, because my dad was a DB. So we're trying to figure out if my mom had hands. So I feel like that's a gift from God. So.
Got it. And just a quick follow-up, in the NFL, where do you see yourself playing the most? I mean, people have you as a slot, people have you on the outside. Talk about your versatility a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like I'm a versatile player, be able to play inside or out, just up to the coach, wherever they want to put me. So I feel like I can do both and excel at both. So I'm just looking forward to wherever a team wants me to be at, just do the best I can, perform at that role, and you just get better every day. So.
Thanks so much. Best of luck.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Go ahead, Brooke.
Hey, Sage, wanted to ask you just about Jamie a little bit more. What do you think teams should know about him? What did you learn about him when he was your quarterback, and maybe something that teams are overlooking or that people don't necessarily know a lot about?
I felt like first, I feel like Jamie's talent speaks for himself. You watch his tape, you can see that he can play ball. So I feel like, guys, from an inside perspective, know how hard he works, just being a leader for our team. When he had his time here, he's been a guy that's been able to get guys going, very vocal in practice, what you need from a quarterback. And I feel like, he's got, works extremely hard, he's trying to become a master of his craft. So that's what I would say about Jamie.
Eddie, did you have a question?
I'm good, Lucy.
All right. Go ahead, Andre.
Andre Robinson, Challenger Community News. How's it going, Sage? Congratulations on your journey.
Oh, thank you. How are you?
There's been a lot of talk about you and Chaz both going into the draft at the same time. My question is, he went to North Carolina, you went to Wake Forest. What was it about Wake Forest that made you want to go to Wake Forest? And what are some of the things that you could take from Wake Forest as other people may want to go?
I feel like the elite academics we have and be able to play Power 5 football is what stuck out to me. Having a chance to play early, be with these guys, Coach R and Coach Higgins both recruited me here, talking to them, they really wanted me. And it was great, just be able to come here. Coming to Wake Forest, I feel like you're going to come to a place with a strong culture, have a winning culture here. Guys that come in and want to compete and work hard. So I feel like, it's testament Coach Claussen I'll be able to get that and bring those guys in. And you know, if you want to come to Lake Forest, you know, be a part of a winning program and guys that are going to push you to be better.
Thank you for your time. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for you. Say.
Y'all have a good one.
Hey, Jamie, how you doing?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing? Good, good. I can't complain. Derek Sports Mentions. Over the past year, you know, with being away from football and, you know, the transfer and things like that, just as you had to go through like sort of an out of body experience looking from the outside in, have you been able to gain or get anything mentally or physically just from that aspect of things?
Yeah. Outside of football, I feel like it was a great opportunity for who I was as a just looking myself in the mirror, just, you know, thinking about some of the things and the decisions I've made and, you know, how I wanted to continue to grow moving forward. And I think that was pretty much a big key of me sitting back this year. And then as well as, you know, sitting back away from football, you know, just being able to learn a lot more about the game, just, you know, learning more about the pro style systems, watching a lot more games from the outside in, you know, it's, you know, very different from being involved. And it's really drove my off-season training.
Thanks and congrats.
Thank you.
All right, Brooke, go ahead.
Hey, Jamie, Brooke Pryor with ESPN. Just curious, what was the process like when you get out there at the Senior Bowl? How quickly did you feel the rust shaking off? Was that difficult to get back in the groove of things after doing, you know, individual training for so long?
Yeah, for sure. Just definitely, you know, first day was probably my best day at the Senior Bowl, you know, just being able to everyone, you know, trying to get an adjustment. But definitely when we went back into the drop back days, you know, with the drop back days where you're trying to process stuff and, you know, with the live rush, everything is going so much faster. But other than that, you know, it was just a great opportunity, you know, to get back to some football. I was very grateful for Jim Nagy and, you know, letting me in that event, inviting me to that event because, you know, I had been away from football for almost 300 some days until that.
And have you spoken with the Steelers at all or had any communication with them?
Yes, I've had 2 interviews with the Steelers. Like their staff a lot, from top to bottom, from GM to all the coaches.
And who with the Steelers have you talked to? Has it been Mike Tomlin, scouts, Matt Canada?
Yes, I've talked to Canada and Mike Tomlin in Zoom interviews, as well as, you know, the GM there as well.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Go ahead, Stephen.
Hey, Jamie, Stephen Haglund from the LAFB Network covering the Chargers and the Rams. I'm just curious if you had the chance to meet with either of those teams since the Senior Bowl.
Yes, I met one time with the Chargers, but this was just via phone call. Other than that, the Rams, after the Senior Bowl, I have not talked to them.
All right, sounds good. And then my other question, obviously you didn't play this season, so I'm curious kind of what were your goals during the season away from football and what things were you working on in that time that you kind of helped project you to the next level?
Yeah, definitely, you know, just throwing on rhythm from under center. Definitely one of the big keys from my off season, just throwing on rhythm under center with my footwork. And just growing my mental side of the game, you know, learning a lot more football, just being introduced to a lot more systems, just watching a lot of film. And one of the big keys was just being consistent with my feet and just growing with my mind and the knowledge of the game.
All right, go ahead, Josh.
Hey, Jamie, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. I just want to ask you, throughout this whole process, has there anyone that you've been kind of leaning on for support or advice, whether it be former players that you played with, current quarterbacks in the league, just to kind of pick their brain for the pro day, the pre-draft process and all that stuff? And then have you spoken with the Buccaneers?
Just, you know, for advice, definitely still always keep my family in the loop. You know, my family is, you know, based off of, you know, faith and determination and hard work, and always, you know, leaning towards them for any advice I can get whenever I'm going through anything, you know, mentally struggling or anything that, you know, just need to pick me up anytime and just go to my family. And definitely, you know, the guys that are ahead of me, guys like Justin Stranad, Scotty Washington, Jesse Bates, just talking to them about how, how their process was and, how long of a process was and how they kept themselves focused mentally. And then, just going into the league, what was their mentality like? What are some things they could have done different? They felt like it would have helped them improve. And what was the second part of your question?
Have you had any communications with the Buccaneers in the pre-draft
Yes.
process?
Yes. Talked to them twice during the Senior Bowl round, doing the round tables with the team interviews.
Any communications with Coach Clyde Christensen?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Good. Best of luck on your journey.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Les.
Hey, Jamie, hope you're doing well. How do you feel like you did today? Did it feel like old times throwing to Sage Surratt? And then just in general, what kind of feedback are you getting from these teams, Jamie? Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's nice to see you too, Les. I felt like I had an okay day. I always feel like I can get better. Definitely with the tempo we were going at, guys were kind of gassed on some of the deep stuff. But just throwing to Sage, and just being in the indoor was a great feeling. Me and Sage, our relationship is way bigger than deeper than football. Just knowing him, since I met his brother during the Elite 11 semifinals process and just being introduced to him too as well. And I was also the guy who took him on his first official here at Wake. So our relationship on and off the field, regardless, being 10,000 miles away is always going to be the same. He always calls me at least once a week. We just chop it up at night, just talking about anything from, who can beat each other in one-on-one or the last 2K game we played or just how's the process going for him too as well.
Go ahead, Connor.
Hey, Jamie, Connor O'Neill, formerly of the Burlington Times News.
See you with the biggest underdog. Shout out Camo.
Did you see yourself in this process as a 14-year-old back at Graham?
Honestly, no. It just felt like it was a dream that it was unattainable at the time when I was a 14-year-old. Not a lot of people, get the opportunity to make it in this process this far. So I just feel like I'm blessed. Being at Graham High School where it's football. Football isn't the emphasis around there. And so just making it out of there and just giving myself an opportunity, just to even try to get to the next level. It's just a true blessing, and it comes from, my family, instilling hard work and faith in me. And definitely, the people I've surrounded myself with, Coach Claussen, my teammates, Warren Ruggiero, just learning everything I could from each person that I ran into my life. So it's, it's just a blessing to me.
Given the teams really haven't seen you throw other than like today in the Senior Bowl since 2019, and then given opting out and giving everything that you've been through for the past year, is it more important to go out there and throw well, or is it more important what you're telling teams in the interview process?
I feel like for me as a quarterback, throwing well is definitely important. But as a quarterback, this game is 95% mental, 5% physical. So just getting to know people, just putting everything I have out on the table, just being me at all times, never showing any type of trying to be someone I'm not, just putting myself out there as much as I can, letting everyone know my story, my reasons behind everything. Through the whole process. When I went to the Senior Bowl, probably 32 times I got asked the same question, and I responded every time the same. So it's all been great.
Also, speaking on your reason, congratulations are in order, I think, from following on Instagram.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Go ahead, Andre.
Andre Robinson, Challenger Community News. Congratulations, Mr. Newman, on your travels to the NFL. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So some people have talked about you missing last season. I know in 2019 you had 2,868 yards and 26 touchdowns. You're very accurate. You are a dual threat quarterback. We've seen a lot of dual threat quarterbacks go in the league, such as I'm from Buffalo. We've seen Josh Allen, things of that nature, need a couple years to develop his throws as far as the short to intermediate routes or the deep ball routes. As a guy coming back from such dismissal from last year, do you think that you can make all those throws? For one, are there any throws that you need to work on? And two, what makes you better than all the rest of these quarterbacks that are in the draft right now, currently?
Yeah, just one, I feel like I can make every throw. Just being more consistent on my intermediate game is definitely something I want to take into, I've been taking into this process and I'm going to take into moving forward. Just being more consistent with my intermediate game is one of the biggest things I want to work on. Because, the game is always played within 10 to 15 yards as a quarterback, and being consistent through the air. And, one of the things I feel like I do better than anybody in this draft is throw a great touch deep ball. Just, always being able to show my arm strength. Just feel like there's something that's always came natural to me, but definitely took work. And that's just me. That's part of one of the biggest parts of my game, just that deep ball throw.
Have you talked to the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, I met with the Buffalo Bills during the Senior Bowl. It was a great meeting. We had a guy out here that was a head scout for the Buffalo Bills today. Definitely got that New York energy in him.
Awesome. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Go ahead, Matthias.
Thank you. Jamie, here's Mateus from Time Out here in Brazil. Congratulations for going for the NFL draft. You just say about how big was for you the interview process because you don't have the 2020 tape and everything else. And how do you think that all that you heard from them on the interviews you could have put on the Senior Bowl and your pro day for they see that you're already trying to change and trying to be a better quarterback?
Just going through the Senior Bowl process, that was probably one of the first times, being able to take live under center snaps, so that was definitely a change for me, but that was something that I wanted to get 1% better every day. And just, not being able to play in the 2020 season, I think that was one of the emphasis also on my training, just, taking those under center snaps, being comfortable throwing rhythm from under center, and just, showing my ability to, play the game within my 10, 15 yards, with my arm and not just, straight deep balls. But I thought that, throughout the process and throughout, especially getting ready for pro day, just one of the big things was just, being who I am, through the whole time, not always focusing on my weakness, but, emphasizing some of my strengths in my game. So that was some of the big things I took.
And just a quick follow-up. After today, how is going to work for you into the draft? You have some more interviews, you have other workouts that you're trying to show for the NFL, or is just like now prepared but waiting for the NFL?
Some of those workouts and interviews can come, any day now between the draft, between today and the draft. So I'll continue to do my training, continue to craft in my game, and just, anytime I get a chance to get in front of a team and work out, I think that would be a great opportunity for me to show my skills.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, Johnny, go ahead, and then we'll wrap up with Andre.
Hey, Jamie, Johnny Lecca with All About the Birds. Two quick questions for you. Have you met with the Eagles or talked with the Eagles? And what do you say the Senior Bowl helped you in terms of, matching up your skill set with the other quarterbacks that were there in Mobile?
I met with the Eagles during the Senior Bowl. Haven't met with them since, but just, being able to, get into a huddle setting, being able to talk to, guys in the huddle, commanding the huddle, and just also working from under center, that was some things that, some things you can't practice on your own, and sometimes you need live reps to get them, even if you're practicing, calling calls, all day in the mirror, there's nothing like getting those live reps. And that was some of the things, I picked up a lot of things from Mac Jones and Kellen Mond, just them being in a pro style system and being able to actually work that under center snap and, pointing the mic and stuff like that. And I was just always being a sponge when I was down there, trying to learn from everybody I could, Coach Rule, Coach Lombardi, all those guys were great, great people to learn from while I was down there at the Senior Bowl.
All right, go ahead, Andre.
Jamie, one of the best attributes as a athlete is being able to turn negatives into positives. I'm a community guy. I know that you missed last year. What do you take from that experience, and what are you telling the people down there at Graham, North Carolina, where you're from? What are you telling them about how to bounce back, how to persevere as an athlete who may have missed time but still has that dream?
Yeah, just my whole life has just been about perseverance. Just keep pushing through all the negatives. Because if you keep your faith and you always work hard work, the hard work you put in will be rewarded. Sometimes it might not be the time that you think, but it's always in God's timing. So be coming from a small town like Graham, North Carolina, I just want to be an inspiration to those guys, to anybody. Anybody coming up, looking to have the opportunity to be at this level and then continue on, or anybody who just period, just making it to college, making it through college, getting to graduation, and just being able to take themselves further in life.
Appreciate the responses. A lot of people need to hear that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for you, Jamie. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you all.